Welcome to the Self-Sufficiency channel with Johnny Lee. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you find this content valuable to your life. Jesus said, "Follow me." And for billions of people, that's exactly what they've done. Not questioned, not examined, just followed. And today I want to talk about the difference between following something because you were told to and following something because it's true. Because those are not the same thing, not even close. From the moment people are born into religion, they are taught one thing above all else: trust. Trust the scripture. Trust the pastor. Trust the tradition. Trust the message. And most importantly, trust without needing any proof. And that sounds harmless. It sounds humble. It even sounds virtuous. But let me ask you something. What happens when you build your entire worldview on something you were never allowed to question? Because that's exactly what faith really is. It's not evidence. It's not verification. Faith is belief without proof. And I want to slow that down because people don't like hearing it that way. If I tell you something is true and you ask me for evidence and I tell you you just have to believe, that's not truth. That's instruction. And religion is built on that instruction. You follow, don't question, believe, don't verify, trust, don't investigate. Now compare that to how we approach reality in every other area of life. If someone tells you this medicine works, you don't just follow. You want the evidence. You want testing. You want results. If someone tells you this investment is safe, you don't just follow. You look at data. You examine risk. You verify. If someone tells you this person is trustworthy, you don't just follow. You watch behavior. You look for patterns. You assess. But when it comes to religion, all of that stops. Now it's just, you have to have faith. Just believe. Don't lean on your own understanding. And that right there is the moment the self-sufficient mind has to step in. Because the self-sufficient individual does not follow claims without evidence. Not because he is rebellious. Not because he's arrogant. But because he understands something simple. If something is true, it should be able to stand on its own. It should not need protection from questions. It should not collapse under examination. It should not require blind obedience to survive. And yet, religion does. You ask questions and you're doubting. Challenge the claim and you're lost. Demand evidence and you lack faith. Do you see the pattern now? The system is designed to keep you from thinking. Because once you start thinking, you start asking, how do we know this is true? Everything starts to shift. And that's the real reason follow me works. Because it removes responsibility from the individual. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to test anything. You don't have to verify anything. You just follow. And following is easy. Thinking is hard. Following gives you certainty. Thinking gives you questions. Following gives you comfort. Thinking gives you responsibility. And most people would rather be comfortable than correct. But the self-sufficient individual makes a different choice. They follow the evidence, not the claim, not the tradition, not the authority, the evidence. And here's the truth people don't like to sit with. If your belief cannot survive evidence, it doesn't deserve obedience. Now just let that sit for a moment, because that applies to everything. If something is true, it will hold up under scrutiny. If something is real, it will show itself in reality. But if something only survives when you stop questioning it, then it's not truth. It's conditioning, and that's the shift. Jesus said, "Follow me." I say, follow the evidence. Because following the evidence means you think, you examine, you test, and you verify. And yes, that path is harder, but it's also real. And that brings me to the point of this channel. Here is the self-sufficiency answer. You cannot build your life on beliefs you have never examined. You cannot depend on ideas you were trained not to question. You cannot move through reality blindly following something just because it was handed to you. You have to think for yourself. You have to evaluate for yourself. You have to determine what is true based on what can be shown, not what is simply said. Because nobody is coming to do the work for you. Not a pastor, not a book or a system. The responsibility is yours. And once you accept that, you stop following blindly and you start living intentionally. Remember, as I always say, life is suffering, death is mercy. No one is coming to save you, so save yourself. Until next time.